A Chaotic Hookah Night. Part 2. Ian, Jake, and Mr. Munchi's Trippy Tale. The camera pans through a dimly lit room where Ian and Jake sit cross-legged, a hookah burbling serenely on the table. Jake swivels a baggie of mushrooms in his hands like he's offering enlightenment itself. In a chaotic encounter with mushrooms, Ian and Jake spiral into a surreal adventure through neon-lit streets and eccentric characters, culminating in a whimsical dance-off at a transformed hookah bar, questioning reality and the meaning of camaraderie. "Ian, tonight's the night we transcend," Jake proclaims, eyes gleaming. Ian nods, trying to strike a wise expression, but looking more like he's forgotten how noses work. They each gulp down a massive helping of mushrooms, chasing it with redundant soda. A clock ticks dramatically in the background. 5 minutes later, nothing. 10 minutes later, still nothing. Jake squints, pokes Ian, and says, "I think we bought broccoli or something." Ian, looking skeptical but desperate, responds, let's eat an eighth more. Full send." In a chaotic encounter with mushrooms, Ian and Jake spiral into a surreal adventure through neon-lit streets and eccentric characters, culminating in a whimsical dance-off at a transformed hookah bar, questioning reality and the meaning of camaraderie. The duo consumes their second dose, cutting to an intense montage of chewing, optimistic high fives, and distant sirens because, let's face it, bad decisions are noisy. Suddenly, boom! The mushrooms hit hard. Mid-sentence, Jake says, "Honestly, I don't feel anything," before freezing like his brain lagged out. Ian's face glitches into hysterical laughter so intense he falls backward onto the carpet. The scene transitions to a whimsical dance-off at a transformed hookah bar, questioning reality and the meaning of camaraderie. The camera switches to their warped point of view, walls breathing, colors vibrating, and Jake literally peeling himself off his chair. They try to talk, but every word sends them into another fit of cackling hysteria. Then chaos. Jake bolts upright and starts walking toward an invisible portal. Reed, the closet, muttering, "I'll be right back. I need answers." Ian grabs at him but misses, turning his stumble into an accidental interpretive dance. By the time Ian collects himself, Jake is gone. Cut to Ian, now wandering an eerily quiet street wearing one sock and a hoodie on backward. A neon sign flickers in the distance, momentarily spelling out destiny, or maybe dentistry. Ian's unsure. He hears music and follows it instinctively, eventually stumbling into a rowdy house party like a tumbleweed with questionable life choices. Inside, a fog machine works overtime, as disheveled partygoers sway to lo-fi beats while gnawing on kale chips. Amid the Technicolor haze, Ian spots him, the one and only Mr. Munchi, a man whose aura is somewhere between shaman and guy who knows where to find discount tacos. Mr. Munchi's outfit features mismatched socks, a Hawaiian shirt, and sunglasses worn indoors, at night. The vibe is impeccable. "Mr. Munchi," Ian exclaims like he's greeting an old friend, though deep down he wonders if they've ever actually met. Mr. Munchi turns, holding 2 bananas like nunchucks. "Ian," he replies gravely, "the universe speaks. We must find Jake." Ian, entirely too amused to question this, nods. "Lead the way, Sensei." The duo embarks on their adventure, stumbling through city streets that seem alive. Every storefront glows unnaturally, and a mailbox cheers them on with encouragement like, "Go get your friend, champ." To this, Mr. Munchi salutes. They pause at a glowing bus stop with incomprehensible maps. Ian squints at it while Mr. Munchi declares, "The stars are our GPS, or maybe that taco place from earlier." As they debate the existence of roads, a man selling glow sticks materializes out of nowhere to announce, "Your friend was seen with a lamp." Neither Ian nor Mr. Munchi questions this, collectively nodding as if it were the most logical lead. Their journey leads them to a neon thrift shop that screams *chaotic energy*. Inside, every surface looks like it's been painted during a sugar rush. An enormous goat munches on nachos in the corner. The atmosphere is disconcerting. They approach the shopkeeper, a woman wearing goggles who speaks exclusively in rhyming couplets. "Looking for Jake? Seek a break. Toward the light. The one that's fake. Ian and Mr. Munchi exchange a knowing look. Mystical nonsense? Check. And the journey continues. Ian and Mr. Munchi sprint after vaguely defined clues, ricocheting through an increasingly surreal landscape. A park has swings that float 6 feet off the ground. A group of goths in a parking lot performs synchronized cartwheels while chanting, "Jake, we thank thee." Eventually, the duo spots a figure running through the streets, waving a glowing scarf like it's the Olympic torch. They sprint after him, only to realize it's not Jake. It's a guy named Dave promoting a laundromat. By this point, Ian considers that he might be hallucinating everything, including Mr. Munchi. The duo manages to stumble into the hookah bar they plan to visit, only now it's transformed into a kaleidoscopic wonderland, dripping in vibrant hues and slow-motion laughter. Patrons float inches above couches, their smoke rings spelling incomprehensible words like snarflax and onomatopoeia. Ian's jaw drops when he spots Jake dancing in the center of the room, holding a glowing lamp and shimmying like a disco deity. "Jake, you're alive!" Ian yells in triumph. Jake, entirely unaffected by the chaos as if he's ascended to trip guru status, spins to face them. "Ian, Munchi, welcome to the light." He accentuates his declaration with jazz hands, and Mr. Munchi claps enthusiastically. The night settles into an improvised dance-off between Jake, Ian, Mr. Munchi, and a group of strangers wearing alien costumes. Jake's moves resemble an inflatable wacky tube man, while Ian tries to moonwalk but slips, declaring it was on purpose. The scene descends into joyous, chaotic camaraderie, with everyone collapsing into laughter. As the night winds down, the trio stumbles out of the hookah bar, sitting on the curb as a pale dawn creeps over the horizon. They exchange what can only be described as incomprehensible wisdom. "We are all one lamp," Jake muses, still holding the glowing object. Ian agrees solemnly, nodding like he's discovered new continents. Mr. Munchi, who by now suspiciously feels like a fever dream, mutters something about tacos, gets up, and vanishes. With Jake's head on Ian's shoulder, they watch the world slowly return to normal, or as normal as it ever gets. Just as they pick themselves up and start walking, Jake looks sideways at Ian and says with an impish grin, "Want to do it again tomorrow?" What could possibly happen in part 3?